Okay, so last thing I'm going to do here, just to kind of set up my wall section, or my callout, which will be my detail associated with my wall section. I have to create that first, so I'm just going to go to the View tab and click on the Section tool, and this is just going to be a curtain wall section. So I'll just make that initial very short section view in my main floor plan. To go to that section view, I can just double click on the edge of the arrowhead for that section view. Notice that at the moment there's nothing here populated in the symbol. Eventually when I drag that to a sheet, you'll see those numbers change. So I'll double click here to go to the view, and I will change the detail level to fine. And what I'm going to be doing is making a callout view for a detail that I'll bring in from an AutoCAD file that will describe approximately what's going on in this location right here. Because I'm going to be relying on imported AutoCAD data, there's not going to be anything in this REVIT file at the moment. When I usually do a callout view, it just takes me to a more sort of fine view of the REVIT geometry, but I actually want to have it go to another spot where I'm going to be storing an AutoCAD file. So the way that I set that up is I initially go to the View tab and I click on Drafting View. So I want a new view. This is a drafting view. It's two-dimensional. It has no connection to any other part of the project. It's completely isolated, and anything I do in that view won't have any impact on the rest of the geometry. So I'll click on Drafting View, and I'm going to name this one Spandrel Panel, and I'll leave the scale at 1 to 10. When I click OK, it'll actually take me to that view, and it's going to be blank. I haven't put anything in there. I'm in the browser here under a new section that has just appeared after I made this new view, and it's just called Spandrel Panel. So the Drafting View section, it's not there until you activate this tool. So what I'm going to put in this view is an AutoCAD file. So I'll go to the Insert tab. I'll click on Import CAD, and then I'm just going to use one that's stored on the network, and it's just going to be called Montana Spandrel Panel. I'll accept the defaults. It's going to track the layers for that AutoCAD file, and I can change the positioning if I like. Maybe I'll just go with manual base point, and I'll click Open, and it'll bring that drawing in and just place it in the middle of this view. Okay, so there's the AutoCAD file. What I'm going to tell REVIT to do next is link to this file from that callout view that I'm about to create. So I'll go back to the wall section, and from the wall section view I'm going to click on the View tab, and I'll click on Callout. As soon as I click on Callout, before I make the callout box, I have to tell REVIT to look somewhere else. So I'll click on the tool, and then right away check Reference Other View, and then I'll select the Spandrel Panel drafting view that I just made. So now, when I go through the process of actually creating the callout box, REVIT knows that when I go to this view for this callout, it's going to take me to the AutoCAD file and not to any location on the REVIT geometry. So once I just create the initial box here and use the grips here to place the symbol, now if I just double click on the edge of that symbol, it'll take me to the AutoCAD drawing. Now the AutoCAD data here doesn't have to be left just as it is. If there are edits that I need to make to this, I can do an explode. I'll do a partial explode, and that's going to take away any sort of grouping and just leave me with segments of lines. And the reason I do this is because I might want to, for example, change the color of some of these lines. So they just came in with their layer color. So if I want them to be some other type of line, like maybe a medium line, I can just use my line style selector here, and I'll turn off thin lines so you can see the line weight that might go with that. At this stage I can also do dimensioning, and I can add text. So this is essentially where Revit starts to become like AutoCAD. It's more two-dimensional. So I can do additional line work in here. I can add text, dimensions, notes. And again, as we saw, the section view and its callout will always point to that view. So the last thing I'm going to show you with this demo is just how to put this on a sheet. So I'm going to just remind myself what section that was. So this is my section 11 here. And I'm going to go to the View tab and create a new sheet using the same title block. I'm going to drag my wall section onto that sheet. And just like I've done before, I want to adjust its scale. 1 to 150 isn't the right scale to be showing this at. I want it to be larger. So I'll go back to section 11. I'll change the scale to 1 to 100. I'll go back to the sheet and see how that looks. That's a little better. So just play with the layout, change the location of the drawing title. And then on this same sheet, I can drag in the detail view. So the spandrel panel detail, just click and drag, place it on the same sheet, go through the same process of just placing it, maybe adjusting its scale if you feel you haven't quite got the right one, adjusting the drawing title and its line. And then last thing I'll show you on this is how you can already see this here on the sheet. It's populated the right references and correlated everything correctly. So if I go back to the section view here where it was blank before, now you can see that I've got drawing number 2 on sheet A105. And then if I go back to the main floor, again, you'll see that rather than having just the blank entries in the section symbol, now I've got the drawing number and the sheet number. So it does all that correlation automatically.